Now's the time to scout wheat fields for Roughstalk Bluegrass. Sign up for dairy margin coverage begins in June, and Farm Bureau Insurance ACES program gets kids moving around the state. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
Sign up for the new dairy margin coverage program begins next month. DMC is a voluntary program that makes payments when the national average income over feed cost margin falls below a farmer-selected coverage level. Coverage is now available from $4 per hundredweight to as high as $9.50 per hundredweight. Dairy producers pay premiums for coverage and may annually reselect their coverage options.
The dairy margin coverage sign-up starts on June 17th of 2019 here and is open for about 3 months, so till the third week of September. If you sign up right away, they've said they're going to start getting payments out on July 8th. And frankly, the payments this year, unless something changes, are going to be for the first half of the year. We already know 3 months. We're going to know 4 months by the time you can sign up. And we know that 2019 at $9.50 is going to pay for itself. So especially if you need the cash flow, it's time to, get signed up there.
Farmers who paid premiums into the now defunct Margin Protection Program from 2014 through 2017 do have an opportunity to recoup that money in one of two ways.
If you participated and you paid above the $4 catastrophic level, so you paid a premium in 2014, 15, 16, or 17, it wouldn't apply to 2018 because that one worked a little bit differently. But in 2014 through 2017, if you paid premiums in, you can apply. In fact, you can apply at the current time, to either get 50% of what you paid in back in a cash payment, or to have 75% of what you paid in going towards your premiums going forward on the new DMC program. If you bought up, especially if you were at 650 level or above, which some of these guys were, then that might pay a large chunk, if not all of your bill for this program going forward, and then you'd have coverage on that. And the other thing is, if you were locked out of getting the margin protection program in 2018 because you had an LGM dairy contract, you can apply retroactively at this time to get the net payments back for last year. And that does apply to some producers in Michigan.
For DMC sign-up, eligibility, and related program information, visit fsa.usda.gov or contact your local USDA service center.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want a car with driver assist technology, get a Ford. You're gonna want a Ford.
There's an unwelcomed pest sprouting up among the winter wheat crop in Michigan. It's a relatively new weed to the state, and it's called Roughstalk Bluegrass.
Roughstalk Bluegrass actually is a perennial weed species, but we're kind of seeing it more as an annual in kind of our wheat cropping systems. And I'd say over the last 2 to 3 years, we're starting to see this weed show up a lot more basically around the state. If we're not able to control it, a lot of times we do see some yield loss due to weed competition. And we've had some plots last year where we had up to about 50% reduction in yield. When you're scouting your wheat fields, look for some grass species coming up. And right now, we're seeing all different sizes. We have stuff that came up in the fall that's a little bit bigger. And if you look at these plants, a lot of times you'll see them come up in clumps. And you'll see that sometimes you'll see this reddish color on the stem. But one of the key things to do is also pull back the leaf, and you'll see this membranous ligule. And that's a pretty large ligule. So that's one of the kind of key details of looking for Roughstalk Bluegrass. Now, if you planted your wheat later this year, most of this is not going to be at this size. So this is some fall emergence, and our spring emergence stuff is relatively small right now. When it gets to be about this size, you want to make sure that you have control measures in place. And really what we're looking at is we've had very good luck with spring applications of Osprey or Axial XL as far as controlling this particular species.
What happens when a road accident results in a hazardous waste spill? Contact attorney Dirk Beckwith at 248-539-9918 to learn the next steps.
Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan once again partnered with the Michigan Fitness Foundation to sponsor All Children Exercising Simultaneously, or ACES Day, in Michigan. The annual event was held on May 1st, bringing thousands of elementary and middle school students together to learn how exercise plays a role in living a healthy lifestyle. This year, Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan agents and staff were involved with the ACES Day events at Michigan State University.
I love the ACES Day concept. I think it's so important for kids to be active. This kind of brings awareness to being active, and I know Farm Bureau's been a part of it for about 20 years. And now that I'm with Farm Bureau, it's just an easy way to combine the two.
It's super important for kids to exercise so that they develop a healthy lifestyle. So today, the exercise we do today is not going to create a fit body, but we're just trying to get kids to understand the importance of exercising and just being an active person.
A recent study conducted by the University of Michigan has helped narrow down the phosphorus sources that have flowed into the Detroit River and eventually the western Lake Erie Basin, contributing to the lake's algae blooms. The Detroit River has contributed 25% of the total phosphorus, with more than 60% coming from wastewater treatment plants and industrial facilities. 20% has come from agriculture operations. For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com and the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.